Hello everyone, how are you? I hope everyone's doing well. I have not done this in a couple of weeks. I know, it's been a couple of weeks since I've been back. I've been busy. No, I haven't. I haven't been busy at all. I've been lazy. I've been really lazy. And just kind of taking some downtime. I don't know why I said I was busy. That was just an outright lie. Well, anyways, welcome back. I hope your weeks and weekends have been good. It's hot as heck outside and I hate it, and I wake up in a pool of sweat every morning, and that's where I'm at. So our AC's down and they haven't come to fix it yet. So that's kind of a bummer. Anyways, I hope you're better off than I am with the AC situation. But yeah. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Gretchen and this is Cover Art. This is a series where I do my makeup while talking about a video game that I've been playing recently. Usually my makeup's inspired by said video game. Today we are going to be talking about a game called Outer Wilds. So this game actually came out in 2019, so it's pretty recent. Oh, I forgot to put my contacts in. I didn't even think about that. That's fine. We'll just go without them, and you see me with my glasses today. I'll just do my makeup blindly. That's a bad idea. I'm gonna go put my contacts in. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. What was I saying? Okay, so we're gonna talk about Outer Wilds today. It was released in 2019 and was developed by a company called Mobius Digital. From my understanding, the person who initially came up with the game concept actually did it as like a part of their master thesis. They didn't actually intend to go into video games, but it kind of just worked out that way. So in Outer Wilds, you play as a Timber Hearthian. It's an alien race. You're in a completely different solar system, and it is your very first day of being a full-fledged astronaut. You wake up super early in the morning, you talk to some of your friends, they kind of fill you in on like, hey, it's your first day, aren't you so stoked? You need to go and get your launch codes from so-and-so person who's got them in the museum or whatever. So you go, you talk to them, you get your launch codes, and that's pretty much the start of the game. Is you are an astronaut for this species, for this race, and you're going out to just uncover more of the secrets of your own universe. The game is categorized as like an action adventure, but I would also throw in open world mystery, because there's this ancient civilization. There are remnants of this ancient civilization called the Nomai, just kind of spread out all across your galaxy. They've left little bits and pieces of their technology kind of just laying around. And what is so exciting about your launch day is that you are going to actually be able to translate their writing. You and one of your colleagues created a translator, this translation device that will basically help you understand the Nomai even more and what happened to them, who they were, what was going on with them, because they left a lot of stuff just kind of laying around in the universe, like a ton of stuff laying around in your universe. So one very important and cataclysmic, in a way, thing that happens to your character as you are preparing for your very first launch is when you go to get the launch codes, you meet a couple of people who are working in the space station or museum or whatever you want to call it, and they show you this weird statue. There's like this weird statue of a Nomai's head. And they're like, yeah, we dug it up and we don't know what's going on with it, but like it's huge and it's weird. And at that point in the game, it's eyes will open when you're the only one in the room, and you'll get this weird, like, not hypnotic effect, but it like resonates with your character. It like syncs up with your character, and you get this weird vision of things that will kind of make more sense. Oh, I would say 22 minutes into the game, more or less. I know that's a really specific number. You'll understand why later. So one thing I do recommend when you're playing this game is when you're playing it for the first time, take as much time as you want to explore Timberhearth, because you will not have the luxury to do so later. Every cycle after the first is going to be timed, and you will only have so much time in a day to do things and get stuff done. I'm not going to explain why right now because that's part of the fun of the game and I don't want to spoil anything. But I would say, you know, before you go and get your launch codes, explore around because there's a lot of tutorial stuff in and around your village that will definitely help you later. I think at one point you can even get like a little tutorial for how to pilot your ship because this game doesn't hold your hand at all. It's just kind of like, you're an astronaut, have fun, go. But if you need it, you can explore around your village and get, you know, the tutorials and training you need for what you're going to face out in the rest of your solar system. So I thought that was a cool way of doing it. It's just kind of like you should know right off the bat, like, you might not have time to do this later on. Also, quick shout out to my friend V, who sent me a literal like bag full of unused brushes. She just gave them to me because she wasn't using them, and she's amazing for that. So thanks, V. I love them so far. All right, so you've explored Timberhearth, you've got your launch codes, you're ready to go, you're ready to get out there and do your exploration. Bleh. You're ready to go, you're ready to get out there and explore and uncover the secrets of your universe. It's very, very exciting. So what are the mechanics involved there? Well, you'll get in your ship and you'll launch right on off. You have a couple of things that you do have to manage. Primarily for you, it's going to be health, fuel, and oxygen. Those are your main three components that you're going to want to keep an eye on because you can crash, you can die, you can absolutely be fit if you mess up and don't land your ship right, or if you fall, there is going to be fall damage despite like some of the gravity on the different planets. And there are a lot of different planets to explore. There's even a comet. There's a sun station that you can explore that was left by the Nomai, and you know, they don't know why, they just see it floating around. There's a probe station again left by the Nomai that you can explore. There's a ton of stuff. It can be a little bit overwhelming at first. One handy thing though is every cycle that you run, your ship will remember all of the information that you've collected up until this point. So it's not like you have to restart anything. At the end or beginning of each cycle, it kind of does that for you, which I was very grateful for. There are also two different modes of game that you can play in, which I think is neat. The first one being like your computer will organize all of the information that you've collected so far, and it will tell you when there's more to explore in an area or when you've uncovered everything, which is really good for just like keeping track of where you're at, what your time management's going to need to look like since you are kind of staggered on that. The other method will do all of that as well. It's just, it will also it will help you piece together more so the mysteries of things. Like it'll say, hey, you found X, and then draw a line to Y. It'll kind of help connect things for you rather than you doing it yourself, just like looking at all the information. We played on the former mode where it just kind of collected all the data for us. And I say we because I played this through with my husband again because it was just kind of fun to figure it out with him. But I thought that that was cool that like the difficulty was determined not so much by like, you know, typically it would be by, you know, enemies that you're fighting, but that's not really a component in this game. There's a different type of enemy that you're kind of working against in this game. And so having a designated hand-holding mode versus here's all of your information, but we're going to let you work it out, I thought that was clever. I thought that was good. The controls for the spaceship itself are a little wonky. I mean, you're controlling a spaceship. It's weird and it takes some getting used to for sure, as well as like the controls for maneuvering in your spacesuit. You do have to put on your spacesuit every time you go into your ship. Like it's not going to automatically already be on. So if you like drive in your ship and then park somewhere on a planet and then get out and you don't know your spacesuit, you're kind of, well, that's kind of it for you at least. So it does take some getting used to maneuvering and all of that, but once you get it down, it's not too difficult. The spaceship has an autopilot mode, but it kind of sucks to be honest. It's not very intuitive. And if you come down too quickly or too hard on a planet to like park your ship there, you could damage your components. Like you can damage your ship. Now, luckily, when you damage your ship, it doesn't mean you have to go out and fix it. Like, well, you do. You have to go out and fix it, but like not extensively. Like you don't have to get metal or something to fix it. You literally just go outside, you hold down a button and you fix it. And honestly, that makes sense for a game like this where the goal isn't so much like, not as much survival as it is uncovering different clues and mysteries in the solar system as it is like a salvaging game or anything like that. So I appreciated that as well. It might seem a little silly to have repair components when all you have to do is go out in your ship and press a button to fix something, but it can actually be pretty difficult if you've gotten yourself in a pretty precarious situation. Like there's a water planet called Giant's Deep, and if you throw your ship in the water, you can float away and like you have no control over where it's going, and trying to get back to it can be very difficult. So as you're exploring the universe, there are puzzles and writings, different things that you can discover and explore on every planet. On every major planet, there's also another astronaut friend, so another Timber Hearthian who's gone out and, you know, just, oh my god, what have I done? Did you see that? Oh no, there's a big clump. I just straight stabbed my eye with my mascara. Ooh, alright, well that was something I've never done before. Anyways, so you have your other astronaut friends that are kind of just hanging out on their own planets, just kind of either stationed there or that's just where they stopped. And the way you can find them is actually kind of cute. I really like it. You have like not only the Know My Translator that you're equipped with that you and your colleague developed, you also have this like frequency device, and all of the Timber Hearthians really like playing music. So every astronaut companion that you come across is playing a different instrument with a different beat or melody, and you can kind of hone in on that frequency and find them wherever they are on the planet that way. And then once you do that, they're saved in your frequency device so that you can find them easily again later if you need to. So one of the most heavily utilized devices or mechanics used in the game is quantum mechanics. I really appreciated their explanation of quantum mechanics without like getting into like the really crazy science of whatever it was, because it makes it like easy for people who aren't like science inclined. And you know, it's just a video game, so who knows what's accurate and what's not. But it's basically the idea that something that is not being observed is in constant motion or is constantly moving to a different location, which I thought was really neat. But that is going to be a huge part of your problem solving and puzzle solving in the game is related to the quantum mechanics. And again, there's a spot on Timber Hearth where you can kind of like troubleshoot and mess around with it. There are these like chunks of rock in particular around the planets that, you know, again, your civilization, your species doesn't know how it got there or like what its deal is, but you know that there's a bunch of these rocks out there that emit different frequencies that you can again pick up on your frequency device. And with that, you can kind of try and locate quantum objects that are constantly moving around. For instance, there's a quantum moon, which is going to be like a huge, its own thing. Like, it's a quantum moon. It moves around to different planets, and so it's a moon to every planet, including something called the Eye of the Universe. And you'll kind of discover right away that the Nomai were really obsessed with this Eye of the Universe and finding it and locating it and learning from it. They're a really like intellectual and science-based civilization, and they're like super obsessed with finding it. So the game doesn't give you much direction as far as like where you're going or what you're doing, but you will find things to explore very quickly. You just have to park your ship down somewhere, pick a planet, say I'm gonna go to that one, I'm gonna go to Giant's Deep, I'm gonna travel to the other side of Timber Hearth that I can't walk to, I'm gonna go on this moon. Pretty much you'll find something everywhere. There's like so many different little clues, and it's really nice to have a computer that'll tell you like, hey, you're done on this with this specific area. There's no more to explore here. That I really appreciated, because there is so much. There's so much to do, so much to explore. So it is a really fun exploration game. Like once you get used to piloting your ship around, it's a blast, like going through and just kind of hopping down to different planets, talking to your friends, seeing what they have to say about what's going on, because you're kind of in your own predicament after the first round of your game. And I won't spoil anything for you, but you'll kind of be stuck in a way of trying to figure out this grand mystery of the Nomai statues, what they were up to, what they were doing, because they were definitely experimenting. They were like doing some shit in your universe. So the ultimate outcome of the game is based on kind of how much you explore, how much problem solving and mystery solving you do, how much of the puzzles you're able to get through. It's also kind of just up to you. Like, do you want to have a chill time? Do you want to just like mess around in space? You just want to explore? Because sometimes, you know, you just want to have a chill time. You just want to hang out. Other times though, you want to be like, what the heck was this Nomai up to? What's going on here, and why are they the way that they are, you know? I got a bunch of makeup samples from someone on a free group on Facebook, and that's super rad, don't get me wrong. But it's also like this packet is like perfumey, like, and it's liquid foundation. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it smells good. It's just a choice, I guess. One thing I thought was really funny is we actually borrowed this game from a friend on their Steam library. We didn't purchase it, we just borrowed it from them. And we went back to our friend and we were like, hey, that was really good. Like, we beat the game, we finished it, you know, we had a lot of fun exploring it. What did you think of it when you played it? And he was like, there's an ending to that game. I had no idea. So that goes to show like how much control you have over what you do in the game, or what you don't do. So if you're curious, yes, there is an ending, there is a story, there is kind of like a plot line. It's just piecing that together on your own. Gosh, I feel like I've already talked about it to the most that I want to talk about it, because I really don't want to spoil anything for you guys. And also it's a lot, so I don't know how much I could even really get into that wouldn't just take you down this deep rabbit hole of Outer Wilds. I guess my biggest question the whole time I was playing was, and this isn't really a spoiler because you'll notice it right away, why are there little skeletons everywhere? There are like little Nomai skeletons all over the gosh dang place, like all of the planets that you can find like residences where they used to live, and there's just bodies, like they were just laying around like they were having a normal time, and they were all just randomly suddenly died. And that's kind of why it's such a mystery to your tribe or your village. I shouldn't say tribe, it's more like a village too, because it's like, who were they? What were they doing? Why did they just all seemingly die in their sleep or doing whatever it was that they were doing during their day? It's really weird. That was what bugged me the most. And when we discovered that, I was like, oh shit, that's pretty messed up. Like, you find out how they kind of met their untimely demise. I mean, really, what else can I say? It's very clever. It's very well done. There's not a whole lot of sound design, but what is there is very precious. Like, yeah, I just thought it was really endearing that you can find your friends based on the music that they're playing. And they're all just kind of set up at campsites. You don't just find Nomai writings around too, you'll find your friends writing the other astronauts that are out there. And like, you'll see that one guy in particular, one person in particular is like, I'm really afraid of flying around in space, but I like doing it. And when you find him, he's like, yeah, I crashed my ship, so I'm just hanging out here now. Somehow ended up being an astronaut despite his fear of flying into space. There's another guy who's just like completely chill and hanging out in a hammock, and like he's in Giant's Deep and his ship just like floated away. So he's just there playing his like clarinet or whatever. Like, I'm just gonna hang out, take a nap maybe. One nice thing about having a character on every planet is that you can actually kind of come up to them and be like, I found something. And they'll be like, oh, what did you find? So it kind of gives you a way to talk things through with other characters and get like their opinion. If you get stuck on something, you might be able to work it out with somebody that's just kind of hanging out. Okay, so that in a nutshell is Outer Wilds. It's a cool space exploration adventure, open world, if you like mystery, if you like taking things at your own pace, if you like puzzles and things like that, it's probably a game for you. It's pretty chill. I would recommend it to anyone who wants like a cool, fun time that's also like kind of exciting. Like, ooh, you're solving the mysteries of your solar system. Like, that's neat, right? And the mysteries of some dead ancient civilization at the same time. Also neat. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you had a lovely time, and I hope that you have a lovely rest of your day or whatever comes next for you. Let me know if you try Outer Wilds. Let me know what you think of my makeup, and I will see you soon. Bye.